Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on Calmsden Farm. Right, so the money has jumped down, and the reason for that is I've bought a weeder, a big weeder, probably the biggest one we can get. It is for small weeds, so we're going to have to use this right at the early stages of growth. We're going to try and catch it at the right time, but the money has jumped down. I've also bought a few other things that I needed to get, like lime. We're going to be using, obviously, quite a bit of lime in these first few episodes to get these fields right. And I've also bought some seeds, but they're still at the shop. I have got liquid fertilizer in here. I started off with 10,000 litres just because I had around about the same left in these tanks from my previous save game. So we're trying to carry on from that save game. But obviously, we've started a new save game. I just wanted to get it similar. So there's 10,000 litres, which is going to last us a good amount of time. It's going to last us quite a while, so we shouldn't need to worry about that. I've said this probably multiple times, but I absolutely love this Massey. I really do. It's a stunning tractor. Shouldn't be long. It will be available on ModHub. Fingers crossed. Won't be long. Right, so I've done that. I've parked it away. We're not going to be doing any weeding, obviously, anytime soon. But in this episode, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be trying to focus on a few things in one go, I'd say. It might be a good idea to obviously set some course plays going, because we do need to get some linseed within field 6. Now, we can plant linseed straight away. So let's just have a quick look at this. Scroll right down to the bottom. Sometimes my mouse doesn't appear. There we go. So linseed, as you can tell, planted in September. That's when we want to get it in as soon as possible. It's going to be sitting in there over the winter, and then we're going to harvest it in July. We could wait till March, but if we do that, we're going to be harvesting in September. I think it's just best time to just get it in as soon as possible. Now, looking at field 6, if we just have a quick look, you can see that we did some mulching in the last episode, so it's all mulched, and that's pretty much the state of the field. We can't really do anything else, but it does need some form like cultivating, and then we can do some lime as well. So I think it might be a good idea to do lime and then cultivate field 6. So I'm going to set up a bit of course play, probably to do some mowing as well, and we're going to set up some course play to do some spreading of the lime. And then what we'll do is we'll do a few other bits that I've started. It won't take too long, but I think main thing is now let's get these fields sorted out with some lime. So I think the best thing is to jump over to this tractor. There we go. So what I've been doing over here is testing things out. So I bought a load of lime. Now, I didn't do this with big bags. I did it over here. So this sell point here, this buy point, sorry, I filled the muck spreader with lime. Came back to this field and I just wanted to know if I could spread it without mowing, and I can. So this field now, if we look at precision farming, you can see that pH levels on field 15 are perfect. However, if we go to soil types, this hasn't moved at all. So I think it's the third column. If we just bring this up, it is the second column, so pH value. So as you can see, it's still as if we've done nothing. And the reason for that is, and this is why I think precision farming really does need a bit of an update. It needs changing, because if we just go on here, it also wants to take into account this area of land, which is obviously the cow shed, the sheds at the side where we're storing the bales, and pretty much just all this. So because we haven't spread a lime here, it's not taking that into account. So we are pretty stuck now. We're stuck on field 15 and stuck on field 31. We can look after the other ones, not an issue. But definitely field 15 and field, I'd say, yeah, field 15 mainly, unless, yeah, that's fine. That's got a nice boundary. And the same with that. So there's just a small patch in between, but that won't affect it. So yeah, it's just field 15, just because of the fact it takes into account this bit here. So that's going to have to stay like that. I mean, I could try and edit something within the XML of this save game with precision farming. I could try and make the score maxed out, because obviously it's not a field that we're going to be using. But I think, like I mentioned in the last episode, it's not perfect right now, precision farming is. It does need looking at. But what I will say is, as long as it's above 50 on the environmental score, I'm going to get a bonus. And that's the main thing. It doesn't have to be 100%. I mean, it would be nice if I got a 100 score and got a 50% bonus. I understand some people thinking it's a video game, we should be able to achieve the maximum scores. And I get that. I really do. I do understand that, and I probably agree with you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get a bonus no matter what, and that's the positive of it. So we might have to just leave field 15 and field 31. I've tested it out on the lime. There's no point in me doing anything else on them two fields. So with that being said, let's just crack on and do the actual arable fields, our main fields here. So obviously, because of where we're at, with the linseed being the first crop we need to get in the ground, it's probably a good idea to focus on field 6. Don't want the cows running off. Yep, I didn't know if I had enough room, but I have. So let's get this in the field. Let's do some course play, set it all up. I'm hoping it'll have enough. If not, we can sort that out. So let's just head in here. That was a big bump there. It really is. Be alright. Anyway, so let's go into here, and it's got a previous course on, looks like. So what we need to do is first clear it out, go back to this one, create this job obviously like we normally would, course play field work, target position, start from there. There we go, happy days. So let's jump back out and we can set this going. We'll move it over there. So let's just bring up this and get our mouse, and we'll put start and finish, which I think we're in the wrong direction. We are. Let's just swing it around. Yeah, I do like how this advanced, is it enhanced? I think it might be enhanced fill types. The mod allows you to put lime into a muck spreader, which there's no reason why it can't. At the end of the day, it's doing the same thing. So first waypoint, off you go. Let's just see how he gets on. At least we'll change this pH from bad to pretty good. There we go. Happy days. So we'll just keep an eye on him just to see where he's at. But I think the next job is going to be to jump over to this one. So we're going to get hooked up now. We're going to drop the front weight off. And we're going to get hooked up to these mowers. There we go. And we're going to do some mowing. We're basically going to try and mow as many fields as possible. And the main reason for that is I just want to get this one cut off before I start bringing them levels up on precision farming on these fields, on the grass fields. I'd rather it be in a state where it's technically mowed or harvested, whatever you want to call it, and then we can start focusing on the lime, because we are going to have to replant the grass because of the fact it needs to have the tillage side of things. And I don't think if I put some fertiliser down and harvest it, I'll get a score for tillage. So it's going to max us out on the grass fields if we do it that way. So I'm just trying to think which field to start with. I might start with grass field 1, and then we'll move over to this bigger one. And then finally we'll do the woodland area last. So again, course play is going to be our saviour for this. Now I did do the tillage on that field, in fact. Did plant this one in. So if I look at it, precision farming, I wonder what score. I don't know what field that. Oh, there's 2 fields combined, that's it. So if we have a look, tillage is the bottom one, and yeah, we haven't got a good score on that. So maybe there's no point in doing the tillage on these fields. I was thinking about it. I think all we're going to technically need to do is nitrogen pH value, and we control if needed, which is obviously not going to happen. So maybe, I think we should be fine. I think we can literally just try and, that's going to be the maximum we can get. So again, course plate. Let's open it up, go into that. Great job. Course plate field work, and we'll start from about there, hopefully, if it works. Stick down the middle. Number of headlands, we'll do 1 headland, and we'll start, in fact we'll do 2 headlands just because it's there's a few points where it can get caught, and I think as well we won't go too far on the edge. What I'm going to do is bring it in a bit more. I think that should be fine. We'll go over to the first waypoint, and then at least we've got two workers in the field doing their jobs. And then we'll carry on. Just keep sending him through the grass fields as and when. So, first waypoint, off you go. Happy days. Now, hopefully it won't get caught. I have found that sometimes if I put a worker within this field, it can get caught, especially on this wall. And the little bit where the chicken coop is, there's a bit that just points out kind kind of sticks out, and yeah, I've had it where it really does get caught quite a bit. I'm interested to see now that we're mowing this if we get some yield information, and we are. So obviously with the nitrogen being so poor, it's not going to be a good yield, and as you can see, nitrogen's gone down to absolutely zero. But I'm sure grass is one of the crops that you can't over fertilise anyway, or if you do over fertilise, it doesn't have an effect. I know soybeans is. There is a few others, but they're like the new crops like grapes and olives have also they also ignore over fertilising, which is a bit of a bonus. And you can see the pH dropping gradually after each harvest, so you can obviously keep an eye out on that a little bit better now and maintain it a bit better. But yeah, yield's not too bad. It's not the best. Obviously we have taken a hit. We're not at 100%, which is where you want to be at least. You want to try and get at least the full. Anything obviously extra is where you want to be because it's a bonus, but minimum for me is 100%. I mean, some crops and some field types and some soil types mean that you know, 100% might be the best you get, but at least you're not taking a hit, which technically we are taking a hit now. But we're just going to get this mode up. Basically, all these, well, it's one now, but this was 2 fields before. But this one, and this one, we'll get all these mode up. So that's that. Doing its thing, happy days. And if we have a quick look at this, you can see there, and if we have a look at pH, looks pretty good to me. Happy days. But what I will quickly do is just check the volume. So he's at 34%. He is consuming quite a bit, so we need to crack on with our next job, which is this. So what I've done is bought a load of lime, and I mean a shed ton. The reason I've done it like this is because I think it might be easier for us to have it closer to the farm. Now, we could put some kind of storage, maybe a little tiny silo, something to hold lime and tip it in. That would be helpful, but then it's going to cost us a bit more money. And I don't want to be doing too much yet because we were sitting at 100,000. We're now obviously sitting around half of that. Eventually, over time, we can get things like that and then just pump a load of lime in from where we buy it from, like I did the first time in the manure spreader. But this time around, I just thought, big bags, job done. Now, this New Holland. This isn't mine, this is the shop's. I'm going to keep this here for whenever we want to do this. So let's just keep putting these on. I'm not going to be able to fit them on, all of them, but I'm hoping to get at least another 4 onto this trailer. So they do twist, I've noticed, when you've got 2 on. But let's see if we can grab and put these ones. I think we should fit another 2 after that. That's good news. Hoping that's alright. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now, another thing I did purchase is technically the equivalent of this tool now that we've got on front of this telehandler, but it's for our JCB and it's a dual, so we should be able to take 4 off in one go if it's got the right spacing and we're in the sweet spot. But I'm hoping it's been set up where it has a little bit of leeway on that, because obviously you can't be precise every time, especially with these big bags twisting the way they are. It's going to be difficult for me, and it seems to be like if I move quick, I can somehow just bring them back. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if it had a bit of a I don't know what the right word is, but where it doesn't swing, stops the bags from swinging. I don't know what the word of that tool would be. There'll be a word, but it's not coming to my head. Anyway, so that's that. And then I've also bought 2 tiny bags. Well, they're not tiny, they're just smaller than the bags of lime, because they are the actual lime bags that we were using on Hofbergman. So they've obviously been made for FS22 by Farmer Andy. And as you can see, this is the lime bags. 2,000 litres, pretty good price as well. But these are 1,000 litres. So this is some top seeds, quality seeds. And then we've got some Frontier seeds, which is reaching new horizons in food and farming. So we'll keep them there, obviously, because we are pretty much loaded up right now. And we'll get a strap in, and then we'll head over to the farm. And then what we can do then is obviously take off what we need to fill up. Now this fast track seriously comes in handy. Seriously does when it comes to hauling this kind of stuff. I mean, look at the light setup as well. Really nice tractor. Yeah, let's get back and we'll go and store these away. Now, I'm hoping it pulls this pretty fine. I mean, there is quite a load on here, 28,000 litres. 28,000. Yeah, 28,000. I thought it was even more then. And it is. I'll be honest. It's struggling a bit. It is struggling a bit. Making me think if I've got the host connections in, but I have. I wouldn't be. I was surprised. I'm surprised it's struggling this much. Look at that, 12 miles an hour on a 300. What is it? 380 horsepower tractor. They can go up to 45. Surely I've got something going wrong here. Surely. Or is it literally just because it's such a heavy load? I mean, the lime is quite dense. Maybe it is taking into account that the weight on this. I've not actually seen any information. I usually see a little bit of information telling me the weight, total weight. But we'll just have to snail back. It is what it is. And as you can see, the AI worker is in need. So we need to get there and load him up. So I'll cut back in when I'm back there, and also I'll probably let the guys do a bit of work in the field when it comes to mowing. And hopefully by the end of this episode, let's at least get this field cultivated and lime spread, and we'll try and get all the fields mowed, even if it's just courseplay. And I'll try and, you know, do a bit of a montage of both of them things going on. I think that might be a good idea. Right, so welcome back. Hopefully you've just enjoyed the montage. I got pretty much all the work that was going on through Courseplay and so on, and tried to involve it all in the montage. But yeah, all the fields have been mowed, so we've got some good grass to pick up. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but you can definitely see that we've taken a hit on yield, that it's a lot more patchier, and you can tell. So it does make a difference. It really does. So what we're going to have to do, at some point as well, I need to manually sample that field. Looking at it, we can't do a purchase on this because it'll do the whole area. So we're going to have to manually just sample this bit here, and then we can look after these grass fields a little bit better. Lime is going to be the main thing, obviously nitrogen, tillage and all that stuff we're going to have to ignore. This side's gone down to 49. Not sure why. Not sure why at all. Probably got something to do with the yield. Yes, it has. So you can see that our score is just dropping down, mainly because, I mean, we were at 54 before, we're at 51, but that's just because we've taken a hit on this yield. That'll obviously improve our next time around because we'll have maximum fertilizer. The lime will be perfect on these, but do you know what? For the first time around, it's not too shabby. I mean, obviously it could be better, but first time around, it's not too bad. Going to need a hell of a lot of nitrogen. Luckily, we have got quite a bit of slurry. We have got quite a bit of slurry, so we're going to start focusing on that. And I also think it's going to be important this time around to try and put some focus on digestate. If we can start taking some silage bales to the biogas plant, letting that process slowly over time, we'll get some nice money coming in on a regular source of income. Won't be massive if we took the bales to sell, like we've proven that already in previous episodes in this series. But we can just keep it there, let it produce the digestate is the byproduct, give us a regular source of income as well, which is going to be a bonus. Because I want to try and use as much manure, digestate, slurry, all that in this series, because of the fact that it will have an impact on costs. We'll save a lot of money when it comes to fertilizer, even though we have got quite a bit of liquid fertilizer. Don't want to be using liquid fertilizer on grass fields. It's just something that's not usually done. If anything, it's going to be solid fertilizer for that, or we're going to be using the manure, slurry, or digestate. So we don't want to try and spend loads of money on fert if we can help it by using the sources that we're going to be given anyway by having cows. So we will be doing that, and then by that time this will jump up. The score will. This will definitely jump up. If we look at it now, you can see 49, 50, 50. Yeah, so we've pretty much just brought it down, hence why the scores come down. Long as that doesn't get to 49, I'm happy, because then I am going to be taking a hit. Yeah, we just need to try and keep it above 50. But we'll get there. I mean, this is at 50 now because of the fact that the yield's gone off this, whereas this has got some yield still on it, because obviously we've started working on this field now for the next harvest, and it knows that, so it's taking the previous yield off. So if I just quickly drive this out the way, we'll park it up. But as you can see, all the three fields are cut, mowed up. So probably in the next episode, I'm going to bale that up into silage bales. We'll take some to the digestate when it's fermented, but we'll also store some away because we do need some. But what I'm just going to quickly do is just park this up. I'll sort everything else in between the episodes, the menial tasks like that. But let's have a look at this, guys. So as you can see, this is all sorted out with the lime now. pH is perfect on this field, which is good to see. I wonder if it does show up on the pH. So we are looking at, I will get these eventually. I will get in the order: nitrogen, pH, weed, soil sampling, and tillage. So we're looking at the second one. So yeah, you can see that it's maxed out, which is good news. We've maxed out on that and the soil sampling. Tillage is not going to be maxed out. Probably going to take I'm hoping just to keep that at where it is, which is about 50. But again, yield and nitrogen, they should smash up now. They should really should increase. The nitrogen will be here, which is the top one. I always say yield, but the reason why I'm saying yield is because the nitrogen doesn't give you a value in this environmental score until you've harvested the crop, so it knows the yield you've got from the nitrogen you've given. So this will be full. Weed control should be pretty good. We're going to be using manual weeding, so it's not max, but it's just close off, so we should get a good score there. So we should be a lot better. I'm aiming for, let's say we could aim for 80. If we aim for 80 on that field, I'll be happy. If we try and get all our arable fields around 80 with the equipment we've got, I think that's good going. But we're going to learn as we go on. And this is actual single player now. Before, I've done the tests on precision farming, done my videos. That was with the equipment. That was with everything pretty much straightforward. fields that don't have a negative effect, like this one here, for example, that's got a cow shed with it, that's obviously having a negative effect. This is actually in game. Now, as you can see, this one here is going to play some effect. It really is. I'm at 39 on this. No matter what I do, that is going to have a negative effect. So the reason it's gone down is soil sampling. Soil sampling is pretty poor on that one. We can't do much about that. We really can't. I don't know. I might have to go into that. I mean, that is technically... I don't even know if that's got a field number. I mean, this is what I don't understand. If it's not got a field number, it shouldn't be taken into consideration. It really shouldn't. But it is. It's taking that whole patch. Hopefully this won't bring our main score down too much when all these are at good score. Grass fields and arable fields. When they're there or thereabouts, hopefully that 39 won't get any lower and bring our main score down. That would be a problem there, and then I would have to make sure that I edit it somehow. So I'm going to leave him going in the field because it's a bit of a job for him to do that. It's only a 6 meter spread on the cultivator. But I think what I'll quickly just do is I'm going to bring these bags in before I end the episode. I haven't got many left. That manure spreader, it uses a hell of a lot. It really does. Well, it holds a lot. It doesn't use as much obviously anymore, but it holds a lot. Now, unfortunately, the big back lifter that I purchased with the idea of picking up 4 doesn't actually work very well. It's like it needs to just be spread out a little bit, just a little bit, but it is what it is. It still does the job fine, but I don't think I had to spend the extra 500 quid to get this one when I could have just bought the one that's on the New Holland over there at the shop. So I'm trying to think the best place to try and store these. We don't want to knock that bale over, that's a fact. We don't want to do that. Want to try and get easy access to this as well, so maybe we can just plonk it around about here. I mean, that's pretty much easy enough for me to get access to. Like I said, there's also some seeds that I need to bring back as well, so I'll make sure I do that in between this episode and the next. But hopefully by the time we start the next episode, we'll be planting in the linseed. We'll be looking at the fertiliser then, what we can do, and we'll try and also get some of this grass fertilised. Now, obviously I've got 3 fields now with the mowed grass sitting in the field, so what I am going to do is make sure that I probably do 2 of them fields, bale up and everything. So we're going to bale, wrap it, everything. I'll make sure I do that in between these episodes, so when I do jump into the next one, we've got 1 field to work on, and then maybe 2 fields to do some slurry or manure on, and then again we can focus on field 6 by getting the linseed in and maybe do the first layer of manure. We could even do that before we plant the linseed. That might be a good idea. That actually might be a really good idea, because then you don't have to worry about doing any fertiliser after the crop is planted, because then we can focus on the weeding, get it at the right time, and then when all that's sorted out, maybe in its last stage, when it's getting to the time when it's close to harvest, not just before but close to harvest, we can put some solid fertiliser or liquid fertiliser on the field. I think it's good then, because we're spreading it out as well, so it's not going to be so much work in one go, because we are going to need to focus on the big field, the big arable field that we've combined, and that is going to be the massive earner, and we're going to be putting soybeans in there. But that brings me on to a good point about soybeans within precision farming. So in FS19, like I mentioned, precision farming requirement for nitrogen on soybeans was 0. It didn't require anything. It was never an issue, because obviously you didn't put the fertiliser down, you still had the maximum yield depending on the soil type you're in, and obviously the pH levels had an effect, but it never had any negative effect because an environmental score didn't exist. Now what I'm wondering is if the yield here, for example, is currently at 50, or halfway, let's call it, not 50, but 50%. If I don't put any nitrogen down in these fields whilst planting soybeans, and then I come to harvest it, will this give me a negative score because of the fact there's no nitrogen, even though it doesn't require it for that crop? I'm wondering if this is crop dependent, or is it just what layer of fertilizer is down. So for example, if we go into nitrogen, you can see that this is poor. It's 0 kilograms. You want it in the green for pretty good. If it's at the required rate for that crop, then it should stay at 0 and still give me a maximum score. So I'm interested to see that. So we'll find out obviously when we come to harvesting it. We can't find out before. I could do some testing in between, but I think I'll leave it for when we get to that point. Unless anyone else has done it. Have you been harvesting soybeans already with precision farming? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section. Does it actually have a negative effect on your final environmental score? So I think that's everything for this episode. Like I said, I'll leave him going. We've got plenty to do. There's plenty of work to do. But on that note, I am going to leave the episode there. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it every time. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.